On a warm August night in 1930, Judge Joseph Force Crater dined with friends in Manhattan, hailed a taxi, and disappeared without a trace. What happened to New York's missingest man? Was he a victim of political corruption, mob retribution, or did he orchestrate his own escape? Discover the untold details of this century-old mystery that remains one of America's most baffling unsolved cases. Joseph Force Crater was born in 1889 in Easton, Pennsylvania, and earned a prestigious reputation as a successful attorney. By April 1930, he had climbed the ranks of New York's legal world, being appointed a New York State Supreme Court justice. Crater's career seemed to be on an unstoppable trajectory, but in just a few months his life would take an unexpected and mysterious turn. On August 6, 1930, Crater returned to New York from his vacation home in Maine, where his wife, Stella Wheeler Crater, was still staying. He had some business to handle, including organizing documents and withdrawing $5,150 from his bank account, equivalent to around $80,000 today. He spent part of that day going over court papers and moved files from his office, a few of which he reportedly destroyed. Later that evening, Crater dined at Billy Haas's Chop House in Manhattan with his friend, attorney William Klein, and showgirl Sally Lou Ritz. After dinner, around 9:15 p.m., Crater hailed a taxi and told his companions he was headed to a Broadway show at the Belasco Theater. However, he never arrived, and that moment outside the restaurant would be the last time anyone reported seeing Judge Joseph Crater alive. Strangely, it wasn't until almost a month later, on September 3, 1930, that Judge Crater's disappearance became public. His wife assumed he was busy with work, and his office staff and associates believed he was with his family in Maine. Only when Crater missed important court dates and Stella received no communication from him did concern grow. On September 3, Stella reported her husband missing, triggering one of the largest manhunts in New York history. Detectives, private investigators, and even psychics were brought in, but despite numerous leads and national headlines, no trace of Crater was ever found. Before his disappearance, Crater withdrew $5,150 in cash, which was never accounted for. What he did with the money remains a mystery, fueling theories that he may have been planning to flee or pay off someone to cover up a secret. A theory suggests that Crater was deeply involved with the notorious political machine, Tammany Hall, known for its corruption and mob connections. Speculation arose that Crater may have learned too much about illegal deals and was eliminated to protect those in power. New York in the 1930s was heavily influenced by organized crime. Some theories suggest that Crater had crossed paths with dangerous figures and was killed to prevent him from exposing criminal activity or disrupting certain political arrangements. Another theory posits that Crater, facing personal or financial troubles, staged his own disappearance. The destruction of files, the large cash withdrawal, and his wife's initial calmness all point to the possibility that Crater may have orchestrated his vanishing to escape scandal or start a new life. Yet, no evidence has ever surfaced to suggest where he may have gone. Crater had tickets for a show at the Belasco Theater, but records show he never arrived. If he had another destination in mind that night, it remains a mystery. In 1937, Crater's wife received a letter claiming to have important information about his disappearance. The contents were never made public, and the lead faded without producing any answers. A sensational twist came in 2005 when a note found in a safety deposit box suggested Crater had been killed by corrupt police officers and buried under the Coney Island boardwalk. A search was conducted, but no remains were found, and the mystery continued. By 1939, Judge Crater was officially declared dead, but the case never truly closed. His mysterious vanishing inspired books, films, and speculation for decades. In popular culture, pulling a crater became a phrase used to describe someone who suddenly disappears without explanation. Crater's disappearance was often compared to other high-profile missing person cases, but his remains one of the most puzzling unsolved mysteries in U.S. history. The disappearance of Judge Joseph Crater remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century.